this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? Oh, but fortune and fame, they scattered to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. If these are my last words for all of the earth to hear, if all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal, it's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel is that I am doing what I can. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller 'cause of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time? In the southeast corner of Utah, there's a little town called Moab, and just outside Moab is a national park called Arches National Park, one of my favorite places in the world, which I'll probably explain in a few minutes why or how I ended up there. But first I want to tell you about Balanced Rock. Balanced Rock, can you picture like E.T.'s head? Like when it fully extended? You know, like Balanced Rock is a boulder in Arches National Park that's perched on kind of like an egg stand. And it is pretty intense to look at. And there's a little walking trail around it, parking lot, like no elevation change, super easy, like quarter mile. You just take a stroll around this boulder. And the boulder is sitting on this egg stand. And it really does look like if a wind picks up, it's coming down. From certain angles, for sure. I mean, it's pretty precarious. I was in Arches I was in Moab in the area for 3 months, 12 years ago now. And when I was there, January, February, March, there was nobody in the park. Like nobody, like no park rangers, nobody. Empty. Completely quiet, no wind, no rain, no animals, no snow, no people, no airplanes, no cars, no sounds, no sound at all for hours at a time. And so I stood at this balanced rock, and it's pretty wild looking. And I read the sign. There's a sign in the parking lot. You know, this is balanced rock, and it just talks about it. And it talks about it's essentially an accident of geology, that it's there. The crust of the earth is, some rock is hard, some rock is soft, some rock is porous, some rock is not. Some rock erodes faster than other rock. Moab, as a place, has been underwater as an ocean thousands of times over the course of the Earth's history. And they know that because, or they think they know that anyway, because of layers of rock. There are places where you can see strata that are, you know, quarter-inch thick, and there's hundreds of them. And every strata, every layer, every little layer of this giant sandwich was thousands of years or millions of years of this place being an ocean. That it puts on there is, on the sign, is that the boulder is 55 feet tall, the boulder itself, 55 feet tall, and weighs approximately 3,500 tons. Okay? So I'm standing there in the middle of a national park that's nothing but red rock. And I'm looking at one boulder, and I'm doing a little math. 3,500 tons. That's 7 million pounds. One boulder. And I'm looking around, I'm thinking, well, then I'm looking at like uncountable trillions of pounds of rock in just one spot, tiny spot. And Arches is not a big park, and it's all rock. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, there's trillions of pounds of rock just in my view right here. And of course, because everything is about me, I then think to myself, this one boulder weighs 7 million pounds. And when I eat extra Ben & Jerry's and gain 2 pounds on my hairy little body, I feel worse about myself for an entire day. How self-absorbed could I possibly be? A planet that weighs, you know, too many pounds to mention, and one rock is 7 million pounds, and I'm thinking about whether I weigh 175 or 176. How adorable. And then I spent 3 months there in Moab. And visited those parks a lot and talked to a lot of park rangers, some of my favorite people in the world. I love park rangers. And you know, they have lots of, well, we'll call them facts. You know, no scientist ever met a fact that they weren't prepared to change. You know, it's one of the funnest things about humanity is you catch it if you maybe I'm sure you already noticed. Sometimes, you know, it's we thought we knew, but now we know. We thought that eggs were bad for you, but now we know that eggs are good for you. We thought that the ice was this thick. Now we know. It's never now we think. And yet, everything would indicate that it's still a think. I mean, we never seem to add it to the file that we still are just thinking and not knowing. So I'm reading signs and I'm talking to park rangers about the age of the place. Outside of the little house that I rented in Moab, in case you're wondering what the hell I'm doing in Moab, alone in a rented house, the answer is No, I had not met my wife yet. I did not have a mortgage. I did not have a child yet. Loved them all, didn't have them yet. So I was on an island. I'd lived in LA making music for a living for 7 years, and the noise had gotten too much for me. And I needed to quiet down and get the hell out of town. And the first place that came to my mind was the little town that I had driven through on my way from Chicago to LA to make a living making music 7 years earlier. Moab. And I loved the national parks, and I remembered it being a pretty and small place. I didn't realize how small it was until I got there. Mostly empty, very quiet. The national parks were completely empty, which was awesome. And in fact, everybody, I talked about it last night at the concert, everybody was, did I talk about it last night about how cold people, everybody said, oh, you're going to Utah, going to Arches in the cold in the winter, it's really cold. And I'm like, all right, I'll believe it when I see it. And it wasn't even close to Chicago cold. I'm like, so I'm wearing a coat from Eddie Bauer, big deal, what's the difference? You know, this is nothing. So I took naps on those arches that you see in license plates and photos, and I was alone for hours and days at a time. I mean, by the way, I went into town to eat chocolate frozen yogurt, of course. I just spent most of the time alone. So the Red Rock formations right behind the house that I rented were estimated to be around 300 million years old. Okay? And then, of course, since it's all about me, I started thinking about my bubby, who died a few years ago at 98. Now that sounds old, until you're in Moab. And all of a sudden, you realize that 98 is a baby. 98 years doesn't even register in the age of the earth. Then you drive into Arches National Park, and at the gate, they hand you a map. And the map shows you where the arches are. And that's adorable. Because every single day, for billions of years, that place has been different. One day, an arch rises. Another day, an arch falls. Every drop of water, every flake of snow, every breeze knocks a few molecules, a few milligrams of rock off of millions of rock surfaces, and they flutter down to the ground, and then you take a hike, and you're walking on red dirt, which isn't red dirt at all. It's boulders that used to be. And I start thinking to myself during these 3 months, so when I first got there, I mean, I'm a smart ass. I'm a child of two lawyers. I told the first service I'm a recovering child of two lawyers. And I'm as cerebral and as cynical as anybody in this room, I promise you. I could arm wrestle you with my cynicism, and I would, if not win, I would tie. So I get to Moab from the mess, the manic chaos of Los Angeles. And it took me a day before I started writing songs. I didn't go to write songs. I went with no agenda whatsoever, which was the thing that made it everything that it turned out to be. No agenda was the thing. And into that no agenda came songs. It took me a day. I started writing songs. I wrote 2 or 3 or 4 on the first day, and then was up middle of the night writing songs, and it was whatever impulse I had to. I found I'd written thousands of songs before I got to Moab, but I found out once and for all I am in fact a songwriter, because if I was a potter, I would be looking for a clay shop. You know, I had so many ideas, and they came out not as poems, not as dance, not as short films, not as, you know, my wife has gotten the whole family into Project Runway. So, but I don't envision an outfit to evoke my feelings about Moab. If I were a fashion designer, I would. For me, it came out as songs. And 125 songs later, I was leaving Moab with a tear in my eye, just overwhelmed with what the place had given me during that time. And what it gave me was a wee bit of perspective on the importance of Danny, on the importance of my to-do lists, on the illusion of control, which my brain loves. and my life defies. So I decide things, I plan things, I worry about things, I try to dictate things. And then, time after time, what was going to happen happens. And somehow, just like humanity never adding it to the file that we think we know, we think we knew, but now we know isn't correct. Somehow we never seem to add to our file. We think we're in charge, but nothing is actually the way we planned it. So maybe I'm squandering some energy in the game of planning. Maybe the 45 minutes extra I was up last night before going to bed writing down my to-do list. I don't know if I'm the only one who does that. Maybe I could have slept instead and just trusted that when I woke up in the morning, those things on that to-do list that I was going to do will pop right back into the same head that I went to sleep with. Right? The lack of control, some would say, is a discouraging or depressing thought. And I would argue only if you're going to kid yourself that you can will yourself into having that control. Meaning, if you insist, if you got your hands on that steering wheel, then God damn it, I'm not letting go of this steering wheel, I am driving, then have at it. You'll still end up a place you didn't plan on going, but at least all along the way you'll be frustrated and mad and scared because the car keeps veering in a different direction, and you'll get to feel like, no, I'm gonna wrench it back that way. That's where I'm planning. I'm going there. And that illusion of control, I think, that illusion of control shows up in fascinating places. It shows up in the doctor's office. Here's what's wrong with you, and here's what's going to fix it. Plastic surgeon. You will not grow old under this knife. TSA. Come into our airport. Nothing will harm you here. Right? And on and on. Oh, financial planners. Trust me with your money. You'll never lose a penny. Right? Political pundit. Don't worry, your candidate's going to win. Meanwhile, we never seem to add it to the file that nobody has any idea. Everybody's wrong all the time. Warren Buffett quotes a meta study of economic predictions, and he found that the United States' economic experts, in aggregate, for the past 50 years, have been right about the direction of the economy just under 50% of the time. Which means if you woke up every day and flipped a coin and bet your money accordingly, you would have done a tiny bit better than the six-figure salary folks on Wall Street with MBAs, PhDs, and Lamborghinis bought with the proceeds from your investments. So, but is it scary to not be in charge? Or is it liberating? That's a tricky question. If nobody knows, then what do you do? I've been planting seeds on the ground, watering them with my sweat and tears, scattering them all around. Guess it's what I'm supposed to do with my years. The funny thing is I may know what I've planted, but never what will show. It always seems to be a perfect mystery. Whatever grows will grow, Whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail. What's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. Sometimes I still like to pretend I know what the harvest will be, but I always find out in the end it was never really up to me. The funny thing is when I just do my work and simply trust, it always seems that life is looking out for me. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail. What's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. And I am only one of billions of seeds when all is said and done. I just do what's mine to do and let it be. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly. Whatever fails will fail, and what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. I have planted a lot of seeds, man. I mean, you build a business, you want it to succeed. You get married, you want it to last. You have a child, you want it to be healthy. You buy a home, you want it to not leak. You buy a stock, you want it to rise. You build a church, you want people to come. You plant a garden, you want it to grow. Whatever grows will grow. Whatever dies will die. Whatever works will work. Whatever flies will fly. So I'm not saying you don't fertilize the garden. I'm just saying the drought will come if the drought is going to come. What's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. My little boy is going to be the first kid at Harvard with a brain made entirely of spaghetti. Or he won't be. I am planting. He's 6. His brain is made entirely of spaghetti. Whatever grows will grow. Whatever dies will die. Just as a little exercise. Take a minute and think of something that keeps you up at night. Something that causes your knuckles to hurt from holding on. Whatever works will work. Whatever flies will fly. Now imagine that how it turned out was none of your business. What would you do today? Whatever fails will fail, and what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. See, if yesterday is done and tomorrow is none of our business, it leaves today without burden. It leaves today without mud. I sometimes give a talk called The World According to Jude. My 6-year-old boy wakes up in the morning and it's like it's the first day on earth. It's exciting. He doesn't care what happened yesterday. And he certainly doesn't care who's going to pay for it tomorrow. It's just today. When my little boy looks in the mirror, he doesn't think, oh, need to cut down. I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I looked in a mirror and felt no shame at all. No judgment at all. Jude just looks in the mirror and says, hey, look, it's my little organic bag of bones and blood and heart and lungs, and cool, look at my hair, and I lost another tooth, and let's go play. It's a little more loaded for me to look in the mirror. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die. Whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly. Whatever fails will fail, and what's meant to soar will soar. Everything begins, and everything ends. We don't decide that. I am planting seeds, nothing more. I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best. And I've sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. But it always seems the hardest when I've made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? He doesn't pick a fight, just spreads his wings and gives in. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. Yes, he knows that every storm subsides. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I've felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me yet. I want to be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Want to be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. Think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before. Broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be all right, yes I will, once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. Yeah. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, let's take a minute. So, you thought of something that makes you sweat a little when you think about it? That you think, and reasonably so, that if you get it done, it's to your credit. And if you don't, it's to your shame. Something that if you achieve, you will be worthy. And if you don't, you won't be. Something that if you don't do, it won't get done. And if you do it, the glory belongs to you. Can you think of something? Can you think of something that you wake up in the morning feeling like you have to do because you're expected to? Because the long shadow of yesterday is making you feel a little colder in the morning than my crazy baby Jude feels. The oldest human achievements. You got petroglyphs. You got the Tao, a few thousand years old. The pyramids, a few thousand years old. Adorable. The rock beneath our feet doesn't even notice a few thousand years. Instead of worrying about how we'll be remembered, what we'll build that will last, today can be about how we feel, how we love, how we care. passion or service. A brief, beautiful life. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Want to sing that with me? I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God. Yesterday is done. Tomorrow is none of my business. And today, I have all that I need. Say that with me. Yesterday is done. Tomorrow is none of my business. And today, I have all that I need. One more time. Yesterday is done. Tomorrow is none of my business. And today, I have all that I need. Yes, you do.
Please put your hands together and join me in saying our gratitude affirmation. Divine love, richly flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for the blessings of this day. I am grateful for the blessings on the way.
Another song by me. You guys ready to sing? Thanks. I'm sorry I kind of snuck off the stage. Probably your eyes were closed and you didn't know I was even gone, and that was on purpose. That was on purpose because I hope you got something out of that. So here's Swing Wide the Doors. A little bit peppier than the preceding music. I feel like standing. It's fun to sing to standing. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years, but I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about serving, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about serving, it's about lending a hand, about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
The flowers today are generously donated by Mark Burns in honor of his birthday. Yay! And Mark writes, this birthday is the first day of another 365-day journey around the sun. I am looking forward to enjoying the next week, right? Come on, guys, let's go. We bless these donations given with gratitude and inspiration, knowing that they over and over and over and come right back in our lives in amazing ways. Repeat after me. Divine substance flows in all its fullness into my consciousness, and through me is prosperity, into all my affairs. And we thank the ushers. Thank you very much. Now, we invite you to speak the names of those you would like held in prayer. Our prayer chaplain this afternoon is Sue Ellen Tobe, and she will be happy to pray with you in total confidence after the service. And now it's time to welcome our visitors. If this is your first, second, or third visit, please raise your hand high so we can find you. Yay! The people passing out flowers are members of our welcome team who would love to personally greet you following the service. Along with a welcome flower, you're being given a visitor's card. And we would love to get to know you better, so if you can fill that out and take it into the Sunshine Gallery right outside the sanctuary. The welcome team will be there to greet you, answer your questions, and give you a big surprise. And now I'd like up to, for announcement.
Hi, everyone, and as you look around and the garden is blooming, we couldn't have done it without all of your help, and we're asking again for help. Thanks for the support. Usually I have Steve Benz up here with moral support, but he's in the hospital. Okay, what we need is we're having our opening garden day. Or help clean up the garden. Feel free to bring your own gloves if you have them, or tools, but if not, we have our own tools. If you could, we could use donations so we can purchase our annuals. Anything that you're able to give us would help very much. And if you'd like to help us garden, you can join the garden team. Why, thank you. Hey, it's blooming already. Yeah, we have a table downstairs.
No, I'm good.
Sign up. And if you'd like, we still have some beds you can adopt if you want to come and join the team. Thank you so much.
Take a stroll after church and look at what our beautiful garden looks like already. I have a few last reminders for you. The pet ministry is here each Sunday with pets in need of foster or forever homes. Please see Carol Stiegel for more information on how to You may speak with Dan Ray. You can stay connected to Unity in Chicago many ways. Call each other is one. Sign up for our e-newsletter. Comes out twice a week. It's got everything that will, that we're doing and news and just, it's great. Please read your bulletin, take it with you, put it on the refrigerator, recycle it, and we'll get another one next week. And now let's welcome back Daniel Nahmod.
Thanks. Thanks for calling for an encore back there, by the way. I always love that. I always love that. It's not really for me to jump up and do an encore, so that's why I sat where I was. But anyway, nice to be here. Fun day for me. Great music team. Thanks for singing beautifully. You guys are awesome. Great job on sound, Juan. Appreciate it, man. Beautiful, nice place you got here. That's all I got to say. Nice place you got here. And I have a table right out there. Tammy, thank you for everything. She's awesome. Apparently we're gonna print up T-shirts that say, "Everybody needs a Tammy." And by we, I mean you. Anyway, so I have a table right out there with CDs, songs I sang today, and songs I didn't sing today. And I have a USB drive, which has 10 inspirational records on it, the size of a credit card. It's kind of a cool object. If you need to ask me what a USB drive is, you don't want it. And I also have the thing I travel with that's like kind of extra dear to my heart personally is my wife is a talented, she's just a talented girl all around. I mean, she designed and sewed her own wedding dress. She cooks without recipes. She made all the curtains and pillows in her house. She's just got taste that I don't have. And but the last few years, she's become a really accomplished silversmith, basically self-taught. She makes these beautiful hearts. She makes a lot of different kinds of things, but when I saw these hearts that she was making, handmade, one of a kind, I was like, well, I'd like to take a few of those with me to put on my CD table. I don't know if anybody's interested in jewelry anywhere in the country. I take them now with me. And sometimes somebody wants to take one home, and they're really beautiful and special. If you just want to look at it, you're welcome to. It's just, I only have aren't they pretty? You know, that kind of thing. And I get to go home tonight and be home when my little boy wakes up tomorrow morning, so that's nice. Back to California. So this is a song from my most recent full album. It's an album called Cornerstone. And if Water is all about the Water album and the Water songs, everything I talked about today, if that's all about trust and surrender, fast forward a bunch of years of staying home with my wife and boy as best I could when he was born. And I started feeling when he was 4 or 5, a year or two ago at the most, I started feeling juice flowing, like there was more for me to do. And with the water idea, honestly, I do it. I said to the first service, and I forgot to say the second, I'm a complete. Unpleasant thought. You know, just dabbling in it makes a difference. Experimenting with it, I'm serious. Just experiment. Oh, what if I don't need to know how that's going to turn out? Just playing with the idea has made a big difference in my life. I've been back from Moab for 12 years, but in a way I never came back. So it's a thought, it's an approach, and it's not to be mastered. So I now have these ambitions, but they're colored differently. It's not like I need them to achieve something, to prove something, to earn something. It's because it's mine to do, if that makes sense. But I find, maybe I'm not the only one here, I find that the world doesn't want me to be as sensitive as I am. The world would rather I be a little cranky and a little afraid. And I read the news, and it's not good for me. And this is a song that I wrote about my frame of mind and diving back in, and I bet somebody in the room will relate. A song called Unjaded. And thank you again for having me, and I'll see you again sometime. Well, I used to dream out loud. Just being human made me proud. Now I throw my hands up in the air from disillusion and despair. My heart has taken such abuse. I've used my hurt as my excuse. It's like my hope has disappeared behind the shadow of my fear. And I wonder why they say that aging thins the skin. Then I remember I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong, I can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in, yeah. It's time to live again. I am unjaded. What if you have to fall to grow? I've fallen hard enough to know. So what if life's not fair? Doesn't mean that I'm too cool to care. And I wonder when I stopped believing right will win. Then I remember I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong, I can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in, yeah. It's time to live again, untreated. What kind of life would I live with my heart closed? What kind of man would I be? What kind of world will I be creating if I can love with all of me? If I just love with all of me? I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything on my own. I can right one wrong, I can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong or sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in, yeah. It's time to dive back in. Oh, it's time to live again. I am unjaded. Oh, unjaded.
All right, thank you so much, Daniel Nahmod. One more round of applause for Daniel. That was just a wonderful service. And thank you, everyone here, for your sacred service. Thank you, Annette and ushers and chaplains. And let's remember, Daniel's got a table right out there if you want to take some of him home with you. And let's meet downstairs in the friendship room after we sing ourselves home. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together and let The light of God surrounds us. I am